Hello, Pisces. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading, Pisces. Let's get into it. I know you all are having a great day because that is the intention that you set, Pisces. Let's do it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, Pisces, let's do it. If you're new to my channel. All right, so here we go. Wow. Okay, we're starting out interesting. Okay. All right. So here we have the Five of Swords, right? Here we have Five of Swords. Five of Swords. Here we also have the Six of Swords. All right. I'm talking to you wherever Pisces is in your birth chart. So right now, if you're watching the video on the 25th, the moon is in Aquarius, but then it's going to move into Pisces. So I'm going to give you the questions for the moon in Pisces. This video is for the 26th of June through July 3rd. We're also going to incorporate the next full moon information in your reading. So we're going to have the next full moon we're going to have is a full buck moon in Capricorn on the 21st of July. So all of that will be incorporated into your reading. And we have a more in-depth one. All the videos for the next full moon they're already recorded. So if you're on the Patreon side, you'll see the video upload very soon. But just so you know, some of it will be incorporated here, right? So you can get focused, so you can finish out this cycle strong. So, because when the moon moves into your sign, Pisces, it can be really overwhelming, so much so to a point of you can't even really articulate your emotions. So I'm going to help you make sure you stay focused. Here we have the Ten of Swords here. We also have the Seven of Swords, and we also have the Ace of Wands. Something is really coming to light to somebody about loved ones, and just how when you're in your third eye is wide open. Here's the Ace of Wands here, about how there's some energies, from your past. It's a type of a spirit when you're dealing with people who are in their own personal Hades or in their own personal hell, especially you all being very compassionate signs. Things are starting to become clearer and clearer to you all, Pisces, and just how much it can cause confusion. Just kind of at the root. Like when you're dealing with energies who like to create, first of all, chaos and confusion between their kids, like parents who who can be in their own personal chaos and confusion, causing strife between their kids with the competition, the judging, and the such and such. And people who are looking for commonalities, people who you may feel like, okay, they're standing down, they could seem like they're weak, but really it's like, okay, they would rather get along than fight, right? They would rather get along. They would look for commonalities. They look for equanimity. They look for forgiveness and those kind of things. They seem like they're moving on from that kind of. It seems like they would rather get away from a bunch of chaos and confusion to stay connected. But you're starting to see a type of a spirit that what excites them, and it's a particular spirit, is the fight. And they're not looking for forgiveness with people. They're not looking for equanimity. They're not looking for what they have in common. They're not looking for to operate in the spirit of love. They literally are looking for, they're not looking for any kind of connection, nothing. They're looking to extinguish people's flame. If it does not involve causing some kind of wildfire where people are just chaos and confusion is ensuing, and people are racing away from stuff, crying and frustrated and all of this other stuff, it's not something in their spirit, it doesn't sit right with them. And so the more and more your ancestors are around you, when you look back and you recognize a certain type of spirit, they always come across as, first of all, warming up to people, but there's always something in them that comes across as competitive. It's an unhealthy competition. It's in a way that they don't have a problem with. You see this water right here. You see this type of water, right here, the Six of Swords. Six symbolizes it's a very maternal energy. It's a very nurturing type of spirit. It's a type of a spirit. Let me give somebody an example of what's coming to my spirit. It would be like somebody justifying cheating with somebody else's spouse, right? And you're sitting there listening to that, like I saw this movie a while ago. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I remember this woman was looking for a job, and she came across this person who she didn't know that another woman was actually cheating on with this person's husband, right? And it was all a setup, right? And this woman, eventually it was exposed that the person that had hired her was actually the mistress. And unbeknownst to the husband, unbeknownst those some of those types of spirit, like I said, those types of spirits, those are spirits. People who are so miserable, they like to create chaos and confusion, and you really have to have your third eye wide open to see these types of spirits. And so when you're trying to show compassion, you're trying to show, just like I said, equanimity, you're looking at forgiveness, you're looking at those kind of things. You have to have a loved one that comes in, somebody who died, that's helping you to sail away to calmer waters, to help you to say, I don't want any parts of that. Like, I don't want any parts of the friction, the chaos and confusion. Let me get away from all that. Because again, at first they warm up to you. At first they try to seem like they got something in common with you. And then eventually they strike and they come out at you like they're competing with you. So Source is saying to you, you got to be able to catch it and be more strategic once you realize, when you start hearing them comparing other people to other people before it comes out at you. So somebody had not seen, just in this right here, being at this place right here, all the sword fighting and all of the Ten of Swords, depression and sadness, and why is all this chaos and confusion going on, how those types of energies can latch on to energies. So Source is saying to you, when you get up from that space and you start moving more strategically, those types of energies are like, okay, I feel like there's going to be some people that's like, okay, why is Pisces moving differently now? Pisces seem to like, they like to stand around, and they liked it because they were trying to project themselves onto you. I feel like somebody got some fresh air. Somebody either relocated, somebody moved away, somebody got away from something and just said, okay, I need to get away from all of this stale, toxic, aggressive air. Somebody needs to get away from. Now things are starting to become clearer and clearer to you about a particular type of spirit. It really is the type of a spirit that is, they feel like their fire is trapped. So that can be anything. They can feel like they've been cheated on so many times. They feel like, okay, well, I guess I got to go along with, I guess that's the only way you're going to get somebody. Even though we got almost 9 billion people on the planet, they feel like, okay, I guess if you can't beat them, I guess you got to join them. So they would rather create a bunch of chaos and confusion in somebody else's marriage. We talking about head and heart being at war with each other right here with all of this air. They would rather be in the office, a new person come into the office. They would rather be the one that tells everybody how horrible the office environment is and why they shouldn't have taken the job. And so you come into a new job, you're all excited about being on a new job. They want to get to you. It almost like ruin an experience for you. So you're excited about something. They always want to come in and just like, or let's say, for instance, they're always the bearer of bad news. In other words, they always want to just bring people down to where they are. So Source is saying, you have to learn how to move more strategic when you're dealing with those types of energies. And ideally, you want to just cut them off. Like if you can cut it off at the very beginning, to just cut them off at the very, and don't even look back. But like I said, I see somebody learning how to move a little bit more strategic. So sometimes it happens in families. Sometimes it starts in families where parents are like, why can't you be more like your brother? Or why can't you be more like your sister? Or why can't you, creating that kind of like, oh, this one is prettier, or this one is more handsome. It's a particular spirit that there's somebody's operating in the flesh, and then you see it in adult. It's not a healthy competition where you're saying, hey, look, go shadow this person because they can actually help you in those areas. It's not in that. It's in a way to really kind of like cause you to just be so burned out and confused and stressed out. Source is saying it's not helping you to see the greatness in you. It's not lighting a flame in you. It's doing the opposite. It's trying to extinguish a flame in you. So Source is saying, it's two situations in particular that you're just you're saying, you know what, you're moving beyond all of that. Like, you got a loved one that's helping you to do that. So here we have 3 of Cups. So I see you being in a posture of gratitude, just thanking Source, like out of your mouth, as this cycle is closing out and you're getting away from karmic ties. You're cutting emotional ties with karmic ties. I want to tell you, like I mentioned in another reading, is when you look at karmic ties, it doesn't mean you have to cut people off all the time. Some people you will be cutting off altogether, but it just doesn't mean that you always have to cut loved ones off. But what it means is that sometimes you need to cut the conversation short. You know what I'm saying, Pisces? Sometimes when you're talking to loved ones and they're about to go to a lower frequency, you can tell them right then and there, I really enjoy talking to you, but when you start going in that direction, it actually brings me down. So let me help bring you back up to a higher frequency, right? So that you don't just go along with their flow, and next thing you know, you're overwhelmed and drained, and now you're trying to drink a gallon of water a day because you're so frustrated you can't even get your thoughts together, right? And now they've just deposited all their toxicity into you, and now you resemble them. Now, oh, you can't get up out of the bed. Now you scared. Now you nervous. You have all this anxiety. Your third eye. You just like all over the place. So that's what I'm saying for you also. Source is trying to teach somebody how to be more strategic, and that number 7 lets me know that there's a the number 7 lets me know that there's a completion going, like something has come to light for you, like you now are clear, like you're like, okay, now it makes sense. Somebody had to go and get some fresh air, like maybe you took a drive, or maybe you sat on your deck or your balcony. Something you did gave you some clarity of thought. And so, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, some energies were wearing a mask. You were dealing with some energies that were living amongst their means, and so wearing some kind of a mask, something they were trying to mask their pain. And they like in how they mask their pain as far as financial is concerned. Source is saying you have a healthy balance in your work-life balance in terms of just like your health, your wealth, just the way that you think. You're very positive in the way you think, Pisces. And when you deal with those types of energies that like to dump their hurt onto other people, and every time you try to raise their frequency, they do something to try to lower yours. Source is saying you're going to have to cut off that karmic part by not saying but, by saying, to letting them know, hey, I love you, because your head and heart are not at war. I love you, but you want to say it to them. But when you start talking about X, Y, and Z, it actually lowers the conversations, almost like, okay, it almost makes me want to get off the phone with you. I love you, but let's not talk about X, Y, and Z. Let's not go there. So, when you start doing X, Y, and Z, it just kind of sort of makes me look at you differently, right? So it's like you're trying to mask something else. Right. And so, or like it's some kind of action that they're taking. I feel like, when they start talking a certain way, or when they start being around certain types of people, just wanting to be accepted, it makes you look at them a certain type of way. And so I see that's where you're in a posture of gratitude. And here we have the 6 of Wands, right? So I definitely see telepathic conversations going on where you are having those conversations with people via telepathy, just trying to help them to raise their frequency so that you don't look at it as like you have to make such a drastic, I need to just cut. You know how sometimes people just cut people off, right? It's not always just like, and I say it sometimes when I read, just cut it off, or cut them off or whatever. You're cutting off the dark side of their energy, but you are like once people start realizing, it's like, once I start talking about certain things, Pisces got to get off the phone, or once I start talking about certain things, Pisces has to go. That's when they're going to start seeing, wow, okay, I need to restructure myself so that when I'm dealing with Pisces, I'm not overwhelming Pisces, right? So that's what they're going to start seeing, that they are restructuring themselves, right? So yeah, so here we have the 5 of Swords here. Yeah, so there's the 5 of Swords there. Yeah, there's the 5 of Swords there. So that you're not having you're like, again, Ace of Wands here is 2 types of energies that you're dealing with. And I definitely feel like you're going to be successful at that. You're definitely going to be successful at that. So here we have the 4 of Wands. So I see you being busy, booked and busy, but not burdened by that. And some good news is coming across your path. So congratulations to you for that. Let's see what else we got going on here, Pisces. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying for you all, Pisces. Like I said before, you're going to be grateful to have, like I said, your third eye being wide open. Something having to do with some kind of material possessions, because again, something having to do with money. So somebody could feel like they don't have enough money. They're trying to live above their means. They want to live above their means. Something having to do with something where some people could be overwhelmed financially, and you being balanced out, not trying to live above your means, could also like I said, people wanting to be accepted, all of this other stuff. Source is saying you're just grateful that that's just not how you have compassion enough to not, want to be accepted and all of that other stuff. And you have compassion enough to say, okay, you are finding the positives in them to say, okay, I'm cutting off the negative thoughts about them, if that makes sense to somebody. So you're saying I'm cutting off the negative thoughts, about them so that you can continue moving forward and staying away from, like I said, you're leaving that, just like I said, I see you being burnt. I see you being, you are booked and busy and not burdened by other people's insecurities around material possessions. See this mask right here where the eyes are set far back? See, wealth is not like, some people are like, because I see somebody is not speaking your love language, right? Somebody's love language is significantly different from yours. And so, somebody else is like, yeah, I feel like somebody, when we talk about fire and air, we talk about two different elements, right? There can be some energies that are they could be caught between, the element of fire is, is looking for the differences between things and judging and comparing things, where the element of the air is looking for commonalities and connections. And so for you, you're saying it's two types of energies that you're moving on from, and you're just grateful to just leave those types of energies behind. Here we also have the Six of Swords again, right? I said you have loved one that's helping you to move on from those things and just leave them behind. Here we have the Moon card. This is you have a belief system, and you already know what the belief system is that you're going up against a dark force, and you know how to pray, because that would be like somebody's arms, whatever the dark forces are. It's like, okay, their arms are too short to box with God. You are not other people's gods. I say this all the time in readings. Anybody who thinks that they're other people's gods, run, for real. If anybody telling you to bow down to them or worship, run. They may not say it that way, but just run, right? They like to create a bunch because we know that the devil is the author of confusion, chaos and confusion, right? And so Source is saying that's how people's head and hearts are at war with each other. So pick out the good that you find in people and say, okay, this is what I love about people, but you don't want to add to their chaos and confusion, because you already know what kind of dark spirits are out there. So here we have the Four of Pentacles here. You're not looking for their acceptance and their approval. Somebody's trying to mask some kind of pain here, and you worked very, very hard for, you're a hard-working person. And so you work very hard on, just like I said, here we have the Ace of Pentacles. Some kind of partnership is coming your way, and it's going to garner some more money. And so messages are coming through. So as messages are coming through, that is the message for you, Pisces. It is like, love people, like keep it on the throne. Agape love people, even when they're confused and they're around chaotic situations. Source is saying, literally write it down. What do you love about people that's still connected to you? Find something. Like, you hear people blame, and I was thinking of a movie, but I can't think of a movie title. I can think about a scene in a particular movie, but you hear people blame other people. I would have been farther along in life if I had done this. And then you had other people piggyback on that, like trauma bonding. Source is saying to you, find something positive to say about people in general. Like, okay, they're this or they that or whatever. And if it's that hard for you to find, that's when you know, okay, I need to completely detach. You need to completely detach. So that's what I'm seeing for you. So yeah, so Source is saying, again, here we have the Seven of Swords. So again, the Seven of Swords, and it's coming out twice again. It could cause somebody to be like this, Ten of Swords. It can cause a whole lot of people to be, because it's two sides of the swords. It can cause a whole lot of people to kind of sort of feel like, what is it? Why did Pisces cut me off? Why doesn't Pisces want to have anything to do with me? And you could actually be helping people because they can't see it. Your third eye is open and they can't see it. So you could actually be doing them a favor by cutting them off, and they can't even see. If you would tell them, they still couldn't see it. So you actually could be doing them a favor. So, and just saying, you know what, I give it over to Source. I'll pray for them and just keep it moving forward. So that's what I see for you. So yeah, so Source is helping somebody to move on from something, and and that's what I see for you. Yeah, so you got clear messages coming through. So take heed. Make sure you are documenting your messages in your journal. and you're moving forward. So I love this for you. So I'm seeing teamwork here in your cards here, both in your personal and your professional life. Somebody is really, you're a water sign. So you're inspiring people to really know their love language and also create boundaries and enforce those boundaries around love language. In other words, you are expecting people to speak your love language fluently as you would learn to speak their love language fluently. Like, so it's no static there. So if you worked hard to speak their love language and you're saying it, you're like, okay, this is my love language. I'm expecting for you to learn my love language as I'm learning your love language. Just no sitting there reading minds. You're actually saying it, Pisces, and you're giving people an opportunity, because that's what overgivers, a lot of times overgivers are like, they're not even trying. If they don't know it, like, give people an opportunity to know what your love language is. If they don't know it, it's going to be impossible for them to try to figure it out, especially if they are being blowtorched from all sides in their personal and their professional life, and they're already confused. Don't add to people's confusion. Tell them, this is my love language. So that when they're trying hard to speak your love language, you can be the one in their life to say, okay, you can add clarity. I really appreciate you learning how to speak my love language. I really appreciate that. So they at least know that they're headed in the right direction with you. Because you already know what some loved ones are dealing with. They're dealing with bullying, just very different type, very dark spirits. So, and it's two of them. It's two loved ones that's dealing with some just very dark spirits. So let's see what else we got going on here. Here we have, so yeah. We have the Temperance card and also the Star card. So you're seeing things from a higher frequency, is like how people's star can be like really lowered when they're dealing with a bunch of chaos and confusion and sword fighting all around. It's like some people can't be mature enough to sit down and have a conversation and see, the best interest for everybody involved. They just like to so you're removing yourself from an equation. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles right here. So yeah, that's what it is. So I see you planting some new seeds. Congratulations to you. And I see, here we go, the Eight of Cups. Your head and heart are not at war with each other. You're very compassionate towards everybody involved. First and foremost, yourself. Here we have the Two of Swords. Blindfolds have been removed. Blindfolds have been removed. Somebody eyeballs are wide open. Third eye is wide open about two situations in particular. A lot of things are starting to come into focus for somebody. A lot of things are starting to come into focus, for somebody, because you have a guardian angel that's helping you to see things from the highest frequency. A lot of things. Like, look at it this way. Let's say, for instance, mom and dad's side of the family couldn't stand each other, okay? And you saw that before your heart chakra is developed, starting at the ages of 22? And that's like, you got to go to your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, then your heart chakra. So that's why somebody's head and heart could be at war with each other, because all you saw was somebody could have saw a bunch of sword fighting on both sides of the family, and just people talking negatively. Well, your dad's side of the family is this, your mom's side of the family is this, a bunch of judging going on, just a bunch of chaos and confusion. So you're the one that's going to be the one you're going to be the curse breaker, Pisces. You're the one that's saying, you're coming in and saying, you know what? You're the one that's pulling out the sword of truth and saying, you know what? I'm going to trust Source. That Source is going to expose the actual truth, right? Source is exposing the actual truth of something. And every time you're dealing with energy, and this is why I talk about writing down the positives in relationships with people, is that every time they come to you, you have nothing but positive to say to them about them. That's it. The other energies that, like I said, like to extinguish people's flames, cause them not to believe in themselves, because this is you're all the I believe sign. This is your card. You're the I believe sign. They sending out another type of a message. They like all the sword fighting and chaos and confusion and all of that. It'll become apparent that, okay, those are the energies that's like, it's like they calm down when they get their way. Like dealing with somebody who's throwing a tantrum. So here you have the gift of clear listening, clear audience. But they're planning to disrupt your money backfire. So take a leap of faith. The third eye chakra cleanse. You made a positive impact on them. You were dealing with a Leviathan spirit, a demon of envy, right? So like I said before, when you're dealing with energies, Pisces, whoever I'm talking to here, when you, now that your third eye is open and you're dealing with energies who would rather fight than get along, it doesn't matter what the age is. When you see it in the workplace, you know, at first it seems like it's warming up to, I feel like everybody has worked with those types of spirits. They don't want to see the good in people. They always looking for, they always walking around rolling their eyes. They always starting something. They always, here we have sources saying, follow your heart. You're looking for the commonality. Let's all get along. They're always looking for a problem. Sources saying, get away from them, because they have a spirit of envy. It's something in their spirit that's it's unsettled until it's some kind of fight or something that breaks out. Then all of a sudden they are all excited and stand around. They giving play by plays. Oh, did you hear what such and such said? They love all of that stuff. That actually gives them, for them, it gives them purpose, because they don't know that they have an assignment from source. So like I said, just get away from, just, you know, steer clear of that. Anybody that you have to leave behind or get off the phone with early, find something positive to say about them. Write it down. If you got to write it down. You know, I love how intelligent they are. I love how, you know, I see greatness in them, anything positive. So, but check your request list. It's you versus you. It's not you versus them. That situation is already taken care of itself. You have the gift of premonition. That's forewarning. And so put yourselves first and drink more water as a self-care. And then also it's time to heal your wounded healer. That's your Chiron. And so some energies are just really not happy, you know, without you. And it's just not, it's not, I don't want to give somebody a false sense of that they would be happy with you. It's really them not being happy. They're not happy without you because they have not been able to bring you down to extinguishing your flame, like bringing you down to worthlessness. And so source is saying, you know, the healer and protective travelers is with you. And that's the traveler of information, physical travel, like you go on a bus, train, plane, however you travel in car. That's you're protected. You are protected. Like I said, you're dealing with, you know, you're looking for healing and equanimity and operating in a spirit of love and so on and so forth. When you're dealing with these types of spirits, they like to create so much chaos and confusion. They like to fan the flames until everything, like will burn down a whole forest, you know, until they get their way. And so it's just saying, you just steer clear of those types of spirits. Y'all see it in the workplace. Y'all see it in the workplace. Y'all have seen it in your family situations. That's why some people have decided, hey, they not hosting dinners. They not hosting family gatherings. They like, we rather have it at somebody else's house because, and you know, here we have channeling. So yeah, you're coming off of that frequency and you're on the frequency of love. You're on the frequency. So 2 and 5 is 7. And so they're going to start asking why doesn't, you know, people around them are going to start asking why doesn't Pisces want to have anything to do with so-and-so, because that's how some of these spirits thrive. Some of your colleagues that you could work with right now, because I feel like somebody's going to be getting a new job. Some of your colleagues are going to be asking, why is Pisces moving on to a new job? Because you've seen enough. You've just seen enough chaos and confusion. Somebody's going to ask, why is Pisces relocating? Like, why is Pisces like hitting a reset button and just relocating their whole life? Because you have seen enough of the chaos and confusion. You've just seen, it's just overwhelming for you all. It's just overwhelming for you all. So, but when they get enough of it, then they'll now it'll make sense to them. You know, so you and your loved ones are safe. You don't have anything to worry about. That's what prayer is for. So yeah, so source is definitely gonna is helping somebody to move on from a bunch of chaos and confusion. But it's like I said, it takes all kinds to make the world go around. Those types of energies like to. It's something that they envy. They envy you having a good heart, Pisces. That's what they really boy. They envy your heart and just your heart your heart towards people. So they got to create a bunch of chaos and confusion to drag you down to where they are and say, oh, see, they're not as good of a person as people think they are. So they'll send somebody. They'll send somebody. It's like I said. You got so many, like I said, you got a lot of things. Once you decide that's not your bag to carry, and you're operating in a spirit of love, things are going to be so much clearer to you all, because you got two things that you've been praying for is coming through. So congratulations in advance. And remember, this is a general reading, so only you know what you prayed for, right? So congratulations in advance. Number 2, I am diplomatic. So you have a great talent for finding solutions. Your intuitive and unbiased nature allow you to see all sides of any situation and advise others towards the most beneficial outcome. I'm telling you, your compassion towards people, Pisces, is going to help a whole lot of people to see, your compassion is not a weakness. It's like, okay, your compassion towards all living beings, really. It's just like, you see it. You see that there's some people, they don't know how to use their element properly. If it doesn't involve, in this case right here, if it does not involve starting a wildfire, and I'm talking about people racing out of a situation, or like running away from something, or some kind of combative, some kind of something going on, their spirit is not settled. Their spirit is not settled. So get from away from them. Change. So when the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to the sacred crossroads in your own evolution. That's what it is, sacred crossroads in your own evolution. So that is what I have for you all, Pisces. Here's the questions for you for the moon in Pisces, so that you don't get overwhelmed by just making some decisions and closing out cycles. So first question is, could you keep opening up and breaking through the walls of protection and defense to heal your deepest wounds with love? The second question is, could you immerse yourself in gentleness and compassion in order to receive and channel true love? The third question is, could you become more connected to the universal unconditional love? Fourth question is, can you create healthy boundaries so that you don't take on others' energy? And then last but not least is, do you clean and replenish your energy daily? Yeah, you don't want to take on other people's energy that will have you in a big argument with somebody, because now you think, okay, I'm so compassionate towards them, I got to be in an argument towards somebody. Yeah, they do have a point. That's not the side of what you got in common with somebody as a compassionate zodiac sign. Not at all. I don't care who they are. I got this in common. We've been knowing each other for years, and I got to start a blowtorch war or battle and start this big. Sources like, get away from that. Get away from that, because the ones who started it, they will throw a rock, hide their hands, and leave you uncovered. And then turn around and not help you. So sources saying, you're learning. Somebody is learning. It's time to use your intuition. When you feel like, okay, something about something don't feel right, and you're trying to operate from a spirit of love and forgiveness, and you like, okay, let me stop and think for a second. I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed. Go near some water. This is where you find out what your moon sign is, and tap into that moon sign. Go straight to Google. After you find out what your moon sign is, the link for birth charts are below. Find out what your moon sign is. Go in and type in how to nurture my moon sign. Do it every day like you would drink water, take a bath. Things will become so clear to you. You'll be like, oh my God, I don't even know why it took me this long to see it. Because somebody could be overthinking something to a point of a blockage. Like you just can't see it. Like you just don't want to see something. And so sources saying, something will definitely threaten to dim your light if you don't see it. And you'll be like, oh my God, I can't even believe I didn't see this. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying for you all. Everybody who runs away from a wildfire is not cowardice. They're like, okay, they can't help anybody else until they get away from things and assess their, like, what happened? Like, get away from it. Get away from a situation so you can see things clearly for yourself, so that you can help other people to avoid that kind of stuff. So everybody that's, don't want to be involved in running into a bunch of chaos and confusion. They're actually very smart, very wise. They don't want to be attached to that kind of mess. So it's just saying, time to take some notes. Time to take some notes and pay attention, because it looks like you worked really, really hard, and so source is saying to you, you're going to start seeing you want relationships to flow, but not flow in the wrong direction. So I feel like somebody needs some fresh air, like to get away from certain types of energies. It's going to make so much sense to some of y'all who watching this channel, why some of your own family members have relocated away from the core toxic group of family members. You're going to be like, okay, I never know why aunt so-and-so or uncle so-and-so or cousin so-and-so or whoever relocated and gotten away from all of this toxicity. Now it makes sense. That's what I got for you, Pisces. Hopefully these questions have helped you have an amazing week and close out this cycle in love. And like I said, some major changes are happening for you, but you and your loved ones are safe. You're going to start seeing like, okay, wow, okay, now it's coming together. Now it's starting to make so much sense to me. That is what I have for you. I'll see you all in the next reading. Bye.